Let's issue a challenge here. See if we can get a game. Challenge accepted. Okay. Alright. Onegaishimasu. And let's zoom in on the board. Let's see. I am Sente. Let's play this move. Open the diagonal for the bishop. Yeah, that's a common response. And then he was just checking to see if there's anything clever I could do with the bishop exchange. I think there is a bishop exchange line where you then drop the bishop and try and snag a pawn. But I'm going to close the diagonal. Oh, he's going to follow suit. So maybe we're going to have a dual fortress game. Yagura versus Yagura. I had one of those recently and I had a lot of trouble. Oh, he's doing something a little different. Let's push this pawn once more. I'm just curious to see how he's going to defend this square with the bishop on this diagonal, which is pretty interesting. So it's hitting the knight, which is not defended. So I guess this would be a good opportunity to defend it or move it. What's the best thing to do here? I could block with the silver or the gold. Oh, you know, I'm not seeing this right. He's hitting this pawn. Okay, just defend that pawn. I was about to do something pretty silly there. Okay, so he's going for a fourth file rook. So let's go for the Gangi. Yeah, get this gold out of the way so I can move the king over one, bring the silver up. Bring this silver over to defend these pawns. And maybe forward. Okay, he's bringing his silver forward here. Let's see what he's going to do with his pawns. Maybe think of pushing them forward in the center. It makes sense. Okay, I'm going to step aside once. Then bring this silver up here. So I want to stay strong over here. I'm going to maybe drop the bishop back to oppose his bishop. Push this pawn forward. Yeah, so he's preparing to push again with the rook pawn, with the pawn in front of the rook. So if he does that, I can take, he can take, and then I can drop the pawn back, and the rook will have to move. It's not hitting anything along these lines. You know, I like the idea maybe of limiting his silver from coming forward. I did open up that diagonal for the bishop. His king running to this side. Okay, silver first or bishop first. So if I put the bishop here, he takes, I take. He can drop a bishop with check. Let's get a silver on this, ready to move on to this diagonal. Or maybe I should just go ahead and put the silver there and then drop the bishop behind it. Because it is defended by the rook there. Okay, I wasn't paying attention to my opponent's move. That's a bad habit. He brought his knight out to attack this pawn. Let's put the silver here. Put the bishop here. And so I push this pawn forward. He takes, I take. With the with the bishop behind the... No, that's actually a little bit dangerous. Okay, making room to bring the knight out. King is still running, so the knight comes out. I'm hitting this pawn, but it's not under fire yet. Defended by the silver and the rook. Yeah, I wonder if I should just oppose his rook. Push the pawn. But that would go against this idea of... Okay, I could push this pawn forward. He takes, probably with a pawn. I was hoping to get this square. Let's see if I can do something on the edge. Okay, so now he is pushing that pawn forward. So I can take, he takes. You know, I have an idea here. Let's confront him with the silver. So I may get a silver exchange here. Also opening up this diagonal for my bishop. So he did decide to take. Yeah, I was wondering what he would do there. Okay, I'm going to take back with the king. I'm going to keep my golds as they are. Takes there. Well, I have to take now. Unless there's a really good drop of the bishop. There is a check along this diagonal. No place to drop it. There is the bishop back here, hitting the rook. The rook moves, and then I don't really have a great square to come out to. So, yeah, okay, let's take. Yeah, so he goes there. And where is he going from there? Here. Ah, he's forked my silver and my rook. That's what he's done. He's forked the silver and the rook. And this gold is in the way. The gold is in the way, so my rook can't come over and defend the silver. Okay, just going to move my rook out of the way. Then let's push on here. Let's try and open things up. I've got a bishop I can drop still, so not going to give up just yet. Although he won a silver for nothing, so should be good for white. For Gote. Good for Gote here. What did he do? He pushed a pawn forward. The rook behind it. I've got that covered. Let's promote. Okay, I'm going to take with the gold. Keep those pawns protected. Maybe he's reducing the pieces around my king. Maybe that's his idea here. So I have a silver and a bishop that I can drop, and I can also just take his knight here. So he's attacking my gold. Oh, he's attacking my rook too. Defended the wrong piece. Let's attack his gold. Drops a gold there with check. Okay, and that looks bad for me. I can't run there, so let's block with a knight here. Or maybe I should block with the silver. Would strengthen things a bit more. So he brought his dragon in. What can I do? Check. Is certainly possible. And a fork. Okay, so we'll take the gold and promote. That'll also be with check. I took back with the gold. I was thinking I had a gold drop here to harass his king. I've got the bishop drop. Pawn drop, then bishop drop. The king still defends the gold. Would be nice to have one of those rooks at this point. Let's see, can I do anything to chase his rooks away? He can just take here. Okay, well, we'll drop the bishop anyway. Maybe I can drop a gold here next and try and take something. And we'll see if he can find a way to checkmate me. He puts his silver there, but that does not... oh, it defends his gold. I see. Does not attack my bishop, but it defends his gold. So I can move my bishop and become a horse. Okay, so he's got his rook lined up here. He's attacking this. Ah, this is not defended. Do I have a way to defend it? I could drop a gold here. Defend and counterattack his his rook dragon. Yeah, attacking the dragon. Aha, so the knight. That's a nice move. I can take it, but then that leaves this undefended. I have to take it because my king has no moves. And after that, this goes. And that is mate. So that's a forced mate. So let's resign and say thanks for the game. Okay, let's go back to the full screen mode. And yeah, my rating is at the bottom of the rank mount. Now I might be demoted if I lose the next game. I took a look at the game afterwards with Shogi Dokuro and Elmo, and actually it seems like a pretty straightforward game. In fact, I was doing okay. It seems like I came out of the opening with a positive score, and then there was that one mistake that I made which allowed the tactic that occurred in the game, and then it was downhill from there. It looks like I made some further mistakes, but for this video I just want to focus on that one turning point. But I also wanted to say, well, first of all, it's good to come out of the opening with a positive score. It's not like I was winning here, but at least I'm not having to overcome a handicap. And so I just need to be a little more tactically alert, it seems like. Okay, so let's go forward to the point where the tactic occurs. And then we'll play through this once, kind of in slow motion. So, and then we'll come back and look at what I could have played here instead. So the move that I made that was the mistake was bringing my silver forward like this. I was just trying to chase his silver away, but it did open up this diagonal. So that's the starting point for the tactic. But let's see how it works out. So in the game, I moved the silver forward. Oh, let's see, I got to get back here. Yeah. Right here. Okay, I moved the silver forward to confront his silver, and then he throws in this bishop trade. So the bishops are facing off against each other. He takes the bishop, I take back, and now both of us have bishops in hand, and so that's part of the tactic. And then the second part of the tactic is the exchange here. He takes my silver, I take back, and now the tactic is all set up, and he drops his bishop. So this is the basic tactic here. He's got a fork, and the fork, the bishop had to be traded off, so he has a piece to drop in hand, and then the silver trade had to occur in order to leave a piece here that was loose, and then my rook was already loose. So even if it wasn't loose, a bishop rook trade is good for the side that's taking the rook. So even if that was defended, it would still be a good tactic for my opponent. So let's clear that off. Let's go back in the game to where we were. Let's back up right here. So the move that that caused the problem was this move again. And so that just can't be played at this point. But anyway, this is a good time to practice your visualization skills. Try and imagine, the silver moving there, the bishop trade occurring, the silver trade occurring, and then dropping the bishop here with a fork on this square. Let's see if I can go with the transparency here. Yeah, there's a fork that'll occur between this square and this square with the bishop dropped here after the bishops are traded off. So that's the key idea of this tactic, and if you can spot things like this, you'll be a better shogi player than me. But that's the kind of thing I need to work on here. So what should I have played? The Elmo here is suggesting that instead of moving the silver, which it gave a double question mark there, I should have moved the knight 8i to 7g. So that is this knight. Bring it up here, and that attacks the silver. And his silver, if it comes forward, he actually just loses the silver. I guess I take with this one and keep this diagonal closed, and or it just has to go back. It has squares it can go back to, because that's not a problem. I'm not trapping the silver there, but it is interesting that knights and silvers are kind of natural enemies of each other. If you can put a silver on the head of a knight, then that will cover that'll attack the knight, and will also cover the two squares that the knight goes to. But at the same time, a knight can be used to attack a silver and drive it back. So anyway, something to keep in mind. That's it for this video. I'll see you next time. Bye now.